Hello and welcome to the Fishing Guide Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Wiegmann, and we happen to have two special guests, but one's more special than the other. Aren't you, John?
If you say so.
We have John with us and Mark from MTech Lithium batteries. Of course, we'll have some battery questions later. We won't forget you, Mark.
Oh, that's fine.
So the reason why we have John on the show is he's an avid fisherman, and he's also a veteran. And, I have a near and dear place in my heart for veterans. My dad was one. The guys used to come over every Memorial Day, and they would all get ready to walk in the parade. And I remember I was like the little gun runner. I would carry their guns that, they would fire the blanks at the cemetery, and we all were always doing that. So it was always great to see those guys, and they were actually friends. Mm-hmm. So, John, tell us what service you were in.
Well, I was in the Navy for a mere 30 years.
30 years. That's a long time. What did you do in the service?
Well, I started out as a shipboard electrician and did that for 4 years, then went to Vietnam. And when I was in Vietnam, I decided I didn't want to go back to another aircraft carrier, so I put in for diving school.
Wow.
Became a Navy diver.
Does that help you in your fishing excursions now? Are you able to somehow associate how the bass are relating to structure and your diving?
When I was much younger, it did, because I used to jump off the boat and take a look to see what I was fishing or what was down there when I was fishing.
Isn't that cool? The first live scope.
I was just going to say.
Here. His was a little cruel, and a lot colder in the winter. But
no winter time for me. I used to carry a diving mask in the boat, because I started my fishing career, or my serious fishing, in California.
Right.
So there was no fear of alligators or anything bad in the water. So I used to just jump in and take a look around.
Yeah. And so Mark happens to be the one of the owners of MTech Lithium batteries, and the story behind these two guys getting together is the story of power. We like having power, and we like to start our boats, and we like our trolling motors going. And so MTech Lithium, how long's that been going?
Oh, this is, my partner Dean and I started, I think, 4 years ago. And I met John a couple years ago, and I had batteries in my boat, and he didn't in his boat, and we have identical boats.
Right.
So we were on Okeechobee, and I was in 1.5 to 2 foot of water, and I just popped right up on plane, and off I went. He's like, my boat won't do that. So, yeah, they lighten up the back of your boat tremendously, so you can get on pad a lot quicker in shallower water.
Yeah.
I really like that idea, because I fish predominantly in Florida in shallow water.
So,
and it's a great advantage, so you don't have to idle for a half a mile or a mile before you can get up on plane.
Right. So what happened today? We went out fishing today.
Yeah.
What happened today?
What happened today?
The wind blew 40 mile an hour.
Or more, sometimes.
I caught a fish.
I caught one too, but it just didn't get in the boat.
Okay. No, the thing is, we equipped John's boat with lithium batteries.
Oh,
yes.
I see.
Okay. And so now John is a proud owner of a set of lithium batteries for his Ranger 520.
Right.
And we offer a veterans discount, which we were glad to give to John, because any veteran that comes knocking on our doors wanting to buy our batteries, we will give a veteran discount. All you need to do is just get a hold of Dean or myself, and we'll give you a special code when you buy your batteries. You punch that code in, and it'll save you a percentage off your total bill.
Right. So what batteries did you get for your boat then?
I got 3 trolling motor batteries and 1 starting battery.
All right. Is that big, deep cycle? Is that what you
Well,
got for your trolling motor?
yeah, we get-
100 amps.
Yeah, he got the 3 100 amp hour battery. Our UL series, which is the top of the line. 36 volt 3 12s to make the 36 volt circuit for his trolling motor, and then we have a 100 amp 1150 cold cranking amp starting battery for his outboard,
Okay.
and that'll run all of his electronics.
Right. How many electronics do you have on your boat, John?
I have 3 total.
3 12-inch units?
I have 1 12-inch and 2 9-inch.
They'll easily do that all day long.
I've been having trouble with the batteries that I had. We spent a lot of time fishing at the end of the year with some friends, and at the end of the 4th day, I was having trouble keeping the starting battery charged. I wound up having to shut off all my electronics to reserve enough power just to start the engine.
Wow.
And I, to this day, I don't know if it was a faulty battery or it's just needed more power.
Yeah. What do you think, Mark? You're a battery expert.
Oh,
He didn't have enough power, end of the day.
yeah, he's got plenty of power now because he's only running 3 graphs. I got the identical same boat. I'm running 5 12-inch graphs on my boat.
Wow.
I've got 3 Lowrance 12s. I've got a Humminbird Solix 12 with the Mega 360, and I've got the Garmin EcoMap 12 with the Panoptics live scope.
Wow.
And I can run all 5 of those graphs on an 8-hour day and not run out of battery.
Wow.
And I can attest to that because I was in the boat today and he had all of them on and working, and the trolling motor never quit, never worried about starting the battery or starting the main engine.
Wow. That kept it going strong.
You got to try it sometime, Brad. I might be able to set you up. I know somebody.
I have a feeling I already have some, so I can.
You've been talking to Dean, haven't you?
I've been talking to Dean.
Okay.
I have a friend who has a friend. So interesting fact is what I learned today when I showed up here. You have had lots of well-known, recognizable anglers that stay at your place when they come down and fish Okeechobee.
I do. I mean, I usually open up the house in the parking area to anybody who wants to stay that's fishing the pro circuit or as a pro or a co-angler. And I've had a lot of pros here. Taka Heroes stayed here several times, and Rich Lewinsky, and of course my bud here.
Right. There you go. So what's your favorite technique? If you had to narrow one down, what would be John's technique for catching fish?
Well, right now, my favorite technique has to be a Senko because
Senko?
it's catching them when other techniques won't.
Right.
I like punching, flipping and punching, but that seems to be the older I get, the more work it gets to be.
Right.
But the Senko is it'll catch fish anytime, tough conditions, and when they're supposedly not biting, they'll always bite a Senko.
Right. How are you rigging that?
Most of the time, I rig a Texas style. Once in a while, wacky. But I like to fish it with no weight or a 1/16 of an ounce most of the time.
All right. Mark, we'll go down to you because you've been fishing Okeechobee a little bit. Tell us what's been your favorite bait on Okeechobee?
Well, Gary Yamamoto's Senko is my number one go-to bait here. Just Texas rigged with no weight on it. I just flip it out there to that standalone reed, and boy, if there's one there, they just eat it. That's basically my favorite way to fish down here.
Wow. So I know. Do I have a favorite way to fish?
Yeah, Brad, can I ask you what's your favorite way to fish?
You go ahead and ask me.
Hey, Brad.
It's secret. I like a lot of things. So, but when I go to Florida, I'll always remember catching the big bass in an FLW tournament that was 9 pounds something on a speed vibe. So, so that's usually when I come down here. That's what I want to throw. So,
They do work.
yeah, they do.
But you asked me what my favorite was.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
That's my favorite here. So, John, you have 30 years in, and you were a diver.
I was, yes.
So, tell us your most scariest moment when you were diving. What was like one moment you'd rather not live again?
Well, there's been several, but the one that sticks in my head is we were trying to recover an airplane crash, trying to recover the wreckage. And I was down hooking up lifting slings, and I bumped the tank on the wing of the airplane, and it knocked my regulator off. So now I have no air, and I could not find the regulator to hook up back up. It was damaged. So I wound up going back to the surface from about 55 feet, breathing out of my hands, capturing a bubble from the tank all the way to the surface.
Wow.
Yes, that was scary.
And what did your captain or the person in charge say when you came up and didn't have your regulator? Choice words?
Choice words, yeah, and a little concern too.
Right. What's the deepest you've ever went down to?
Well, I was a saturation diver, so which means I dive up to 1,000 feet, sometimes more. Wow. I didn't personally dive that deep. The deepest I've dove is about 780 feet.
That's still 780 feet.
That's still down there.
I don't even have that much line on 10 of my rods altogether, much less one.
Well, good thing about it is you don't have to start from the surface every day. You're inside of a chamber,
right? And
they pressurize you to the depth that you're going to work at, and then they transfer you from one vessel to another and lower you in the water. You work down at the depth, and then you get back in that PTC, personal transfer capsule, and you go back to the ship to rest, eat, sleep.
How long does it take you between, like say, so in other words, you get down to a certain depth.
Yes.
And then you've got to exit that and go into another chamber?
No.
Or how long do you have to stay in that?
Say you're going to the bottom that you're working on or wherever you're working, just for the sake of argument, say it's 500 feet deep. So they pressurize you to the equivalent of 500 feet in a chamber on a ship or on a platform. From that pressurized chamber, they transfer you to a smaller chamber that's detachable, and they lower that down to the working depth. So basically, you never decompress until the end of the job, and you're always at the same pressure from start to end till it's time to decompress.
Wow.
So another interesting thing is you were a boat driver. Is that right?
A boat driver.
Were you a boat driver for the FLW?
I was a boat driver for the FLW for a camera boat driver. Yeah.
Camera boat driver.
Yes.
So no doubt you've seen some colorful things happening in the fishing world. Who do you think's the most craziest angler there is on the tournament trail?
Define crazy.
Not normal.
That could be half the field.
Who's your favorite? Who did you used to love to follow? Because you knew they were exciting.
David Dudley was one. I followed Wesley Strader.
Yeah, Wesley's.
And he likes to go where nobody else will go. I found that interesting that he takes a lot of chances and catches a lot of fish doing it.
Right. Yeah, Wesley is quite a character. Wesley, you know Wesley, don't you?
I know of him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've met him, but we're not per se friends.
Oh. Dudley's your friend.
Yeah. Now David, yeah, and I have to agree with him. He is an interesting person would be to follow around.
To follow him around. Bring your chainsaw.
That's because of him. They made that rule. No more chainsaws in the boat.
It's probably a good idea.
And he has he has a case.
Yes. Trophy case.
A trophy case where he has that pair of clothes, socks, shoes, the chain that he used in the chainsaw, and his trophy all in one case. It's pretty cool. If you go to his house, he's got so much memorabilia and stuff. It's crazy.
And you are actually going to fish in the upcoming National Professional Fishing League.
Yes, in the NPFL. Yes.
Yeah. Dudley's going to be announcer.
Yeah, I'm
colorful.
Looking forward to that.
Luke, going to be colorful.
Yes. Fat Cat Newton.
Yeah.
David Dudley. Luke Dunkson. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, they had to do a really great job. I love all three of them.
When is the first tournament for that?
It's the first week of March. I believe it's 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yep. When's the next big tournament here on Okeechobee? Do you know?
I think it's January.
It's coming up. Huh?
Yeah, it's coming up next week, as a matter of fact.
February.
I forget what month we're in.
It's going fast.
Yeah, I think the first day of practice is next Monday, and then what is the dates?
I don't know. It's coming up. This show will probably air after.
Yeah.
After they fish.
4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, I believe they're on Lake Toho. No, yeah, they're on. Oh my gosh, yeah, they're on Lake Toho, and then right after that,
they come down.
Yeah, that's a Toyota series, and then the Pro Tour goes to Okeechobee the following week.
Yeah,
I think it's 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th.
And so, will you go to the events?
I most likely will.
weigh-in.
Yes, yeah, I'll go to a weigh-in. I might even launch my boat and go follow someone around and see if I can learn something.
You think you can learn a lot by doing that?
I have in the past.
Right.
If not a technique, I'll see a new area that I never thought I could get into.
Right.
Or I ignored in the past because it didn't look good to me. But there's a high-profile pro fishing it and catching fish.
Right. You'll follow them.
To a point, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, Mark, your tournament starts when? When does the National Professional Fishing League start?
March 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th.
Wow. That's coming up.
We get 3 days of practice.
Then
a Wednesday is a day off, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is 3 days of fishing where the entire field fishes all 3 days.
Wow.
They'll have 10 camera boats, from what I'm told, on the water, and the commentation between David Dudley, Luke Duncan, and Fat Cat Newton. It ought to be very interesting. And I'm really looking forward to it because I didn't join it to lose.
Right.
You know, I want to go, and I'm shooting for AOI.
There you go.
I mean, that's my goal. So
there you go. great to have these two guys on. It's time for Tackle Time. Tackle Time, of course, is sponsored by PICO Lures. And once again, Mitch is not here. So I'm going to tell you to go to picolures.com and check out what they have. They have a full line of bass jigs. They have soft plastics for crappie fishing. Man, they have the number one, no doubt in my mind, crappie crankbait and square bill. But you can use them for smallmouth, largemouth, whatever you want. But check them out at picolures.com. Mark, where can they go to find out more about?
I was just going to say, if you are interested in lithium batteries for your bass boat, crappie boat, walleye, offshore, it doesn't matter. We have lithium batteries for everybody. You can go to mtechlithium.com.
Okay.
And if you're a veteran, make sure you get a hold of Dean or myself, and we will get you a code to get you a discount.
Okay. And John, what can I say? I sure appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you.
I'm glad you made it up from 780 feet from below to come up and be part of the fishing world. So we love talking to veterans, and I love talking to people that fish. So we appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe or check out our YouTube channel and become a subscriber there. Our podcast show is on all the major networks, so you can check us out there. Make sure you keep your hooks sharp and your lures in the water.